Well, welcome to Dojo. I don't know who's here, but welcome everybody. Uh,
Hey.
I don't know. We're on the 2 point, maybe seven something. I don't know. But it's Monday night, Dojo. Good to see everybody. I was just talking about I'm really having tired. Like it just gets dark so early now, and I'm just like, oh, just just I'm just not fighting the tired and just allowing myself to realize that, there's a time for a full moon and it's a time for a new moon, and all of the seasons are important. And part of kind of acclimating to the land is maybe just acclimating to the seasons of the land.
Sure. Hibernating or
Yeah. Yeah.
lobernate.
Hey, James.
Hi. Yeah, we lobernate in the summer. Technically, we don't hibernate, right? What happens is that when the sun comes out, we slip into lobernation and
Hibernation.
we go to sleep in the land of the walking by the day. See. So the bears that are hibernating, my groundhog who's gone because he's hibernating, uh, he's in the land of the living right now. He's probably having a really good time.
So he's just in eternal dreaming,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
turned off his digestion
yeah.
and said, I can just go into this deep sleep.
Seed mode.
Seed mode. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm in the seed mode.
You
So
say
when
seated. He's seceded
he's a
from the union.
seed.
Seceded from the union to be dormant and to close his wound. The wound of his eyes are closed. So he's no longer bleeding the world. And yeah, because that's a lot to do, you know? There's a lot going on out here. I know what you mean though about the I've been going to bed really early. It's been really nice though. Yeah.
Yeah, that just listening to your body and what it, how it wants to be,
Hmm.
what it wants to eat. That's the other thing that's happening. It's like I don't want to eat I just don't really I feel hungry, but then I can't figure out what to eat. And it's like it's a quandary.
Mm.
You're like, I don't want to eat that. No, that. And especially weird at breakfast. Weird breakfast. Like nothing breakfast sounds like I want to eat it. So I'm having all kinds of weird shifts and changes, and I'm like, I just love that article, James, on the different this spinning around in circles and not knowing where you are as a white man. And, like not, you know, fighting the noonday sun in Africa. Can you imagine those settlers, those people coming, the British people, mad dogs in the noonday sun or whatever that expression was, and they're like all bound up in their, you know, in their attire, and it's hotter than,
Yeah.
Hades, and they're going to carry on with their tea and their whatever. And I was like, without a connection to, you know, that's like an insanity.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I think that like people fighting like this time of year too, like it's darker earlier. It's like this time to go get ready for this solstice time and inner cave time. And we're all like Christmas and Thanksgiving and the trees are out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it just feels so unnaturally stimulating. And, all that sugar that you put, there's starting to be sugar and like, let's hype up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've been going through
everything's
that.
shifted. Yeah.
Yeah. The sugar addiction, honestly, has been a really big battle. It always is for me. The holidays are just, I'm just a heroin addict and I do great. But then when it's just, you know, you know how it goes. The seasons come and it doesn't take much. And then you're already dormant. So yeah, it's just,
Yeah. And then there's this like
it's so
tradition,
exciting to eat and digest though. It really is. Like the entire
isn't it?
experience is just it's fun as fuck to be like, "Oh, gee, what does this taste like?" And then you're like, "Oh my God, that tastes really good." I predicted it would taste good. It did taste good. I am winning. I've solved the universe, and there's this confidence in it. I've been struggling since there's no hands up. I've been really tripping out over the food wagon, the sugar wagon. It really is very specifically a sugar wagon. It's very specifically that. And ChatGPT tells me, "Well, you're diabetic," and I just ripped it a new one because I was just like, "All right, I'm going to walk you through this step by step." And I tried to tell it like, don't you understand that the average diet, if you're drinking a soda a day, or if you're eating a sandwich with two pieces of bread and mayonnaise, like just that and a soda, you're a different person than me. You are in a different category of who your gut is, what it does, and what it can take. I am on a different level, and I don't mean this like strong. I am I am so weak. I am so delicate. It is it's embarrassing, but it's exactly what I want to be. And the holidays just pulverize me because it just takes so little, just a tiny bit, and I animize it. I become a cookie werewolf is what I call it, because I really can't change it. I can't make the moon go away. And more importantly, I can't share it with people because I'm not like, look, we gotta fucking chain me up whenever the moon's coming out. Like it's like I don't want anyone to feel like that I'm you know, their weaponized. Oh, here's the dude that you got. You know what I mean? That doesn't work either. I need to. I'm I don't need to do anything. It's just a very difficult. Uh, it's just a lot. I don't mean this difficult like it really depresses me. I'm just saying it is challenging as fuck, y'all. It is challenging as fuck. And when I slip into this animized creature, I think about the gluttony of grease that we talk about a lot, and I'm talking about me. Like I'm just like bearing my soul to you when I'm like, yeah, these guys were just like wander around just like blah 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 blah, just give me more liquor or give me more wine or give me more rotisserie chicken, or and just this insatiable thing. I remember always being complained about as a child. I just was never not hungry. It was annoying, and I was always begging my neighbors for food. Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not. I just know this is what I've been told.
Do you think that the satiation has another meaning, like you can't get satiated?
Yeah, it's like
Because
a
I think as a young person, I also had like this when I couldn't wait to be old enough to buy a whole box of eclairs and not share them with anybody.
yeah,
It was a weird thing, and I was like, "What's wrong with sharing? Why do you want to eat a whole box of eclairs?
yeah,
Like, if you ate one bite of it, it would be like as satiating if you really. But why do you want to eat all of them?"
yeah.
It was just like I don't think I think it had something to do with witness.
Exactly. I was getting ready to say, for me, it's always witness based, and so it's kind of a catch 22 because it's like if I always had if like we had a surveillance state, I think I think I'd do better if I was like getting like a notification that I've lost 16 golden Lemuria points, because of what I just did last night, you know. That's an artificial intelligence that's able to help me not animize. But also I got to tell you, I've thought a lot about what this is. It's not really the food. I think it's the animistic state is what it is. The ability to abandon your ego would require me to do something that is completely antithetical to what ego is and what it does. So for me to escape the slavery of my neocortex, I would have to abandon the neocortex and become unconscious, i.e., slip into animism, i.e., get drunk, i.e., go on a bender. For me, it's just sugar. That's all. It's just, that's what it is. And it'll be 9:30 at night, and I'll hear a saxophone. You know, they're just, it'll be 9:30 and it'll just be, I'll do the math and I'll go, I can drive in the dark down to Food Lion and I can get uh 16 tiny chocolate covered donuts. And I'm just like, I mean, I'll sit there for like 10 minutes, you
The
know.
siren call.
But see, this is what I mean by, I don't think this means I'm diabetic. I don't even think this means I'm weak. I think I'm fidelitous because I know that the best piece of cheesecake, especially because I'm fucking lactose intolerant now, which is hilarious, but it's like I remember when I used to love cheesecake, and like, it's seriously, that is a fascinating thing to stick in your mouth. I mean, damn, it's just like fuck, y'all. It's just fascinating. It's really good. And then, but I've noticed that right before you put it in your mouth, that's when it tastes good. And I think that's what does it. What I'm trying to say is that, and this is such an excuse, but I swear this is how it works. It's 9:30 at night. I do the math, which means I'm thinking about acquiring the donuts acquired. And I am now, my limbic brain is just, fuck yeah. This is fantastic. This is what a great thing you just did for yourself. What we have levity. The levity engines are lit. We are floating places. And then what happens next is I I feel, because I'm attached to causality, that I now have to go through with it. And it's kind of true, because if I don't go through with it now, the thalamus is going to stop rewarding me right before it happens. It's not, my anticipation is going to fail because it doesn't anticipate. It knows that I'm just fucking around. So it's, I think, slipping into the animized state. It is witness, but I think it's also the release, the ability to let go of the cockpit causes you to drop tension where your wings should grow, like those blades on your back, or that's ego consciousness, and you can take that off if you know how. But that's a tricky that's a tricky kind of thing to take off. But when you do, God, it feels so good. It's like that weird.
Don't you feel like it's a form of, I always felt like that sugar, for some people, it made them like hyper. For me, it grounded me. So I think that's like what you're saying. It's like a
Yeah,
grounding.
yeah, it's very Taurus-Taurian in the sense of
Yeah.
just it's not really about it could be about pleasure, but it's about presence.
Mhm.
It's about presence. I feel very present in the moment because the flavor crystals are so captivating. It's like a really good song. It's like a really good song, but you're eating it. So
And you're smelling it and you're tasting
yeah,
it.
it,
And
it 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 erupts every part of you, and it's true and it's real. I could tell you all the heady stuff I've thought over the years, and oh, it's because someone didn't love me, or someone did this, or for security, and all those things have valid storylines. They really do. Like, they're all fractally polyphonic, I should say. They're all making a note at that resonance, but ultimately, looking at it through witness, like you were talking about, and then taking a little bit step further, because witness is a huge part of it. But really, I think witness is what keeps me here. And this is the same thing as playing. This is the same thing as dancing. If I'm at a concert and no one's drunk, because I don't want to drink, but I really want to dance, I need people to stop fucking looking at me. Just stop fucking look. And if you're not going to not look at me, I have to not be seen by you. And until I do, I'm not really dancing. I am posing as if I'm dancing to release permission into the world so that I can let go of my ego. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And then when you do let go, you let go. This is what I mean by I don't think it's just about witness. I think witness is what stops me from unhooking my shoulder blades and just really sitting in the moment. And that that sugar, the it's not just sugar. I mean, I can binge on food all the time, but I'm saying when I eat sugar, it brings this werewolf out, and it'll run for 7 days. It'll run for it could run as long as 6 or 7 days. And for me to snap out of it, to become conscious again, I have to cause pain to myself. I have to I this is embarrassing, but it's like I have to cause pain to myself. I have to overeat so I will feel horrible. And I wish I would do it faster so I would throw up, honestly. Sorry I know TMI, forgive me, but it's like I'm not even good at it. If I was better at it, I would be very efficient and I wouldn't even be telling you about it. I'd be like thin as fuck and I'd be like high as hell because I'd be getting off on bulimia. Like that makes sense to me, is what I'm saying. I'm not on top of my addiction. It's not like I'm a neat heroin addict that keeps my room clean, you know. I don't have that kind of stuff. So I hope this is interesting. I don't mean to.
Yeah. Anyone else have a topic or something they want to bring up, please raise your hand and or just chime in. We're a small group tonight. So,
I'd like to chime in.
all right.
So I experienced bulimia for 5 years. And
Wow.
I was sitting with that, been sitting with a lot of things recently. No words to really express how. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought this up, James, because I did not know how to express. And my home life was so chaotic from such an early age. I had an older sister who was 10, who was the golden child, spoiled rotten, bulldog. My dad called her the bulldog. And she got everything she wanted. And then my brother was maybe 5 years, almost 5 years older. He was interesting. um, and then Amy and I. But I, so there's, okay, so I know we're all sensitive, but I think that's connected to our gifts, personally. And when I was thinking or contemplating or remembering about how that started, how the bulimia started, I was totally just, I was eating to not feel. This is just what I came up with. And little by little by little, I over the years I got braver and braver to feel. And so I mean, I even she was like a shopaholic for a while. I was a binge drinker on the weekends. Beer, you can black out on beer if you drink enough, okay? That was a long time ago. But anyway, I often feel kind of brain damaged in some places, like you've talked about, James. And one of that is trusting myself, and the other one is it's like I've been feeling into so many things. My older sister's been helping me, confirming memories. It was chaos, no safety at all in my body, emotional body, and I found a way to not feel, but I was creative about it. Anyway, I'm getting goosebumps. It's our feelings that I know I've dismissed. So I'm doing everything I can imagine to find a way to feel them, to amplify them, to feel them differently, to connect with them differently. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool. That's even just in my field. Like, let's find some new ways, Nance, to, I don't know. And I know I get passionate because I am. I have not felt this kind of love for myself and for this community. I don't even think about my cancer these days, or that I don't have it. I mean, we're we're planning for this great Thanksgiving here. I have to share this. We have two 2-year olds coming, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year old coming, and then all the moms and dads. So, and they bring in so much light. kids just bring in, oh my goodness. Anyway, I know we were talking about just our compulsions or how we. So anyway, for me, James, me wanting to either shop or drink, it was always, and I'm feeling into like the chaos, yeah, the chaos and the
Yeah.
anyway. Um,
Well,
and
you
I
could
know
think
you
of
had, we all had some, right?
yeah, you could think of binging as actually self-love because um, if you can't if you think about being conscious of everything that's in your life, it really is it's holding everything at tension. It's kind of like that those little it's like a pony and you push the button on the bottom of the piece of plastic and the pony collapses, but then you let go of the button and it straightens out again. And you're always at attention. Your attention, that really is what ego is. Your its neocortex is at attention. And so the binging is you saying I deserve to let go. I deserve to release the bit from the mouth of this horse, which is me, to relax and really be in the saddle. I can tell you that I used to really dread one of my parents coming home because I didn't know somatically what was happening. I just thought I was a piece of shit because I felt this way. But what was happening is as soon as they were coming home, they were regulating the house with their energy, and it was causing me to squeeze all of my polyvagals every turn I had. So if you want to go shopping and spend a shitload of money, you, or if you want to binge on sugar or alcohol or pot or just puzzles or crafts or sports or running, I mean, swear, like all these things, really what you're doing is you're giving yourself permission to not think about anything else. And I think the only way you could prove that to yourself is if you could slowly descend into degrading behavior that returns you to your belly. But I really mean this in a loving way. Return you to your animalistic mindset because the animalistic mindset is exactly where you're hoping to go because you want the lesson of how do I fucking relax? So you go down there to that lesson and you find that gear, but you can't have people looking at you. The second someone looks at you, they're like, hey, why are you pretending to be a pig on the ground? Why are you pretending to be a cow on the ground? Why are you pretending to be a sheep? Why are you pretending to be a dog? And you are pretending. You you are absolutely pretending because you're not a dog. But there's what is fucking wrong with feeling that way? like seriously, we live in a culture now where we're going to be able to imaginate more. It's going to be okay. And I think that these imaginations that we pull off now, Nancy, honestly are just the only way that we can self-sanction playing with ourselves is if we abuse ourselves in the fucking process. Because that's the only way we could justify, you know, hey, what are you fucking having a good time? Yes, I'm fucking eating vanilla wafer pudding and having a good fucking time on the brow looking at the moon rise. Why are you not doing this? And it's like that is so insane to so many people because they're like, you can't be eating vanilla pudding on the brow watching the moon rise. We have to vote. We have to pay taxes. We have to get stickers on our cars, you know? And that's a real life contagious field. And I think the more sensitive you are, the more you're winning and the more you really are fucked because because of stuff like this because you really can't find the release of tension unless you remove all witness including your own, which is why you slip into unconsciousness. But I want you to know this is the bright side of disassociation, that we will, when we return to Lemuria, when we jack up, when we jack in, we will be playing more, not less, which means we will be disassociating more appropriately in a more healthy way that is more sustainable. And you will be able to slip into modes where you are a different personality for 8 days and that you would emerge later. This is what I've been trying to get away with this since I was 20. And the closest thing I can do to explain it to everybody is we're going to do some mushrooms. And then like that's the only way that people are like, okay, fucking 5 days from now, we're probably going to have to get back to work. And like that's one of the ways of doing that, but it doesn't see, I've never been able to have the stamina for that. I've had to do it without those drugs. I've had like, look, well, we're going to create a song, we're going to make a band, we're going to create a show, we're going to, I'm going to make 12 shorts. That's me getting lost, Nancy. That's me. Oh God, I could just play with how do I get the timing right on this cue? How do I do the voice just right? Should I change this last word? That is full immersion for me. I am eating that cake. That's what creativity is. It is animism. It is disassociation. I swear it is. But you're sinking lower. You're just finding consciousness lower. That's all. It's not a loss. It's a changing of moving your assemblage point lower down into your skin, right? Into your bubbly blood. That's what I got.
Whoa, that's
So, oh, I'm sorry, Laura. No,
yeah.
I was just
Go ahead,
saying it's
Nancy, and then then Renee can go after you're done. Yeah.
so, when I judged it it's only been since maybe in the last couple of years that I've been able to kind of appreciate like how far I had to go. You know what I mean? To have such an extreme expression. Do you know what I'm like, yeah, anyway, but I have something really cool to share. So as I continue to, and I'm like, again, I'd say I just sit with myself. I have to do it. It seems like I got to go a little longer because I'm like, is there anything you want to release? I just talk to my body and oh my gosh. And since this like taking this power back from this powerful person, but I just want to say we really self-empowered each other when we knew each other until it stopped. So I'm grateful. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have gone off track. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. That's okay. I'm gonna hand it over. It's been
Nope.
we've had a busy day today. We've actually had some fun. So
If it comes back, come back on.
I,
Go ahead, Renee.
I do remember where you were. I'm like, where was she? Because I really so. Um, as you know, I'm very in tune with my body and movement, and it's been a big part of my process to know myself, is to know my inside as well as my outside, and how that's progressed for the last 5, 6 years. But there does come a time when you start to talk to yourself, but it's on the inside. It's very specific, and I think maybe that's you're starting to listen for that. It's a because we naturally override it. But just like the other day, I was laying on the ground and I was, I don't know, researching something or whatever. And I'd been there for a while, kind of squatted on the ground, and my body said, "Hey, laying on the ground is fun, but could you get up and sway around for me? Could you move for me?" So I was like, "Oh yeah, of course." So then you have this other anima of yours that is so connected to you that it actually like talks to you. And people would think like, oh, she's, schizophrenic. And hey, I've danced there too. But there is a difference. But I think it really requires you being really embody like a little kid. You know what I mean? Because it's a quiet little whisper. You don't hear it unless you're being really quiet. Because we put that kiddo in the cage, right? And we cave, whatever, right? And we often don't listen to that. And a lot of times kiddos want candy. Now that is true. I think as kids, like I love candy. I still love sugar. But that was a big thing for all the kids to get sugar. And I think it's been like that since there was fruit that they could dry in Egypt. Like kids wanted the good stuff. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else has kind of heard their little whisper inside, just kind of kind of urging them along um, as we go through Aquarius because it's very present and it's pretty cool. So that's kind of what I got.
I have.
Yeah,
So
that's
I've been twirling.
so you.
Um, oh my gosh. Like I'll be in the middle of something and like something just says twirl. And I twirl. Oh shoot. I just dropped my water. Um, um, skipping if I'm on a walk, with our dog and yeah, I've been
I
listening
love
to
it.
that. And I think it's been amazing, Renee. I feel like a little kid. I mean, it's this. So I remember what I was going to say.
Oh, good.
So the process I'm in and what I'm doing. So I've had this like left leg sciatica thing, probably 10, 12 years. It comes and goes. Um, but lately it's flared up. But then I really started to like pay attention to it. So just putting my attention on it and asking, and I feel a part of my leg that I really haven't felt in a while. It's just been happening like the last couple of days, and my foot has less pins and needles. Anyway, I'm like, is this in my head? It's like, man, stop. It's not in your freaking head. It's like, I'm trying to talk nicer. I am talking nicer to myself, but sometimes I got to tell myself, Nance, okay. Anyway, so that's fun. And yeah. Oh, and I had a purple thing happen. I was out with the only really good friend I have from where I worked. Her name's Lori, and she's got dark hair. And when I was looking into her eyes, so I've been seeing violet, right? So when I'm looking at her face, her eyes, I could see violet pulsing through her hair, and then when I would look at her hair, it would go away. So that was a whole new thing, and that was Saturday. So I'm like, oh, that's fun. So I'm starting to like, it's almost like my little girl is like getting more in there with, oh, let's play, and yeah. So that's all I got as I stumble my
Uh,
words.
Oh, Nancy, and your Substack was really it was it was really touching. So if anyone hasn't read that, I don't know if you shared it on chat, but I really was like you're reclaiming your child and your truth about your experiences and
Well,
you're radiating joy. So go ahead.
I want to thank James because it wasn't too long ago. You mentioned you had really bad counseling, and I did as well with like a husband. And I hadn't gone there in a long time, and I'll get goosebumps just saying it. So I learned to stuff that one, man. Ooh, that did carve something, but there's a bigger part of me that's been in charge that I've allowed or I've followed or I surrendered really to. And I feel like I'm learning to surrender in different ways. And I don't know. Now I feel like I'm rambling, but I feel like I feel like we're going through a transformation. I know we are.
Yeah.
This shit is real and who knows where we're going.
If you
But I'm
think
like so excited now and I
if you think
just love
about all the activities that we have, and we tell ourselves, well, I just really love to play tennis, or I just really love to sew, or I just really love to eat. We really don't really love those things. We really like the presence that we feel, the consciousness that we feel when we're doing those things. We're just picking the activities that get us to that state, and relaxing your grip is harder than you think. It's you get tuned by your parents, you get tuned by your partner, you get tuned by the world, and you have to start hacking the system. You have to invent things like Pilates. You have to invent this. Hey man, Tuesdays, I think we can all slip into this room, and if we sweat a lot, we're going to be able to relax for like 7 minutes. And everyone's like, all right, I'll allow this. And society allows those things as long as you as long as you win, or as long as you meet your quota, or as long as you do your sit-ups, you know. And that's great because this is the technology of belief. This is how we invoke placebo. We invoke the trust in ourselves, to the strength we would need to sort of take it easy. And it's if you've been tuned your whole life, you God, just I just can just feel the tension of my mother. I can just feel it. Just this squeeze. And that I inherited that, and I've watched myself treat others horribly, and it all comes, this has been the only way. It's been the witness. The witness has been the only way where I've been able to change. But this is no different than, I remember when I was a kid in boys choir, you always just had to have good posture. You had to. And if you wanted to slouch, you had to make sure no one was looking. If no one was looking, you could slouch. And then you were like, oh, God, this is good. And then if you'd sit back up again, and it felt good to sit up too, but it's tiring. You know what I mean? It's tiring. And it does save calories, especially if you can align yourself just right. It's actually not as tiring. But I think what's tiring about it is that when you truly stand in that posture, you truly do become more conscious. And when you're more conscious, you just all your instruments are lit up. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to consider, and more importantly, you're to listen. You're going to have to become the environment. You're going to have to put your delicate ears into the headphones, and you're listening to every single sound. There's nothing you can do about that. You know, you're present in the world, and that's it'd be great if we could go to a like now. You find your tension, and you don't need to earn it. You don't need to earn it. I'm stealing all this from Renee, but it's like this really is just you really have to find yourself. Like where the fuck is my body? Like, yeah, I don't necessarily mean physically, but like how am I gripping it? How is it gripping me, you know?
I can add that my sciatica issue was the direct result from clenching my freaking ass.
Yeah.
I did more so on the left, which I think is your feminine. Is that your feminine, Laura?
Yep.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why
Not
it's
able to like relax and receive because you're not safe.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my
You have no container.
Exactly. Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Safe.
Just like
yeah.
digesting, parasympathetic,
Yeah.
you know. That's a big trust. Can you digest? Isn't being conscious just digesting, Lori? It's just you're digesting the environment, and you can only digest the environment if you're in a parasympathetic state, which
Yep.
means all your ventrals are open, you're exposed, your wet wires are out, you're receiving signals at 1,000 decibels. People can yell directly into your inner chambers. That's what listening means, isn't it? You're 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 exposing yourself to whatever crap someone wants to throw at you.
I was thinking about the environments, and a hospital environment has a lot of clench. Um, it's just not a natural place to be. It's all artificial and artificial lights and sterilizations and procedures and emergencies. And it's, a person that has a lot of trauma, and a lot of my mother was like super clenched. She was always itching her palms. She was pulling her hair. It was like smoking a cigarette. It was like it was not parasympathetic. And then I picked like to be a respiratory therapist and get into the emergency room and intubate people, and then cardiac, all that emergency stuff was part of feeling like that dilation of being alive. But how do you dilate and stay parasympathetic? That that's the key. It's like that's how you embody the land, because The Kalahari Bushmen are not in fight, flight, or freeze. They're in the wild and they're tracking an animal. They have to be relaxed to hear. They're tracking it. It's different than I'm controlling whatever I feel so safe. I'm not safe. I'm not safe. I'm not safe. And nothing's safe around me. So, of course, your body's unwinding, you know? So, good job, Nancy, on tracking the wild sciatic.
Yeah.
Lorraine, I think it's Lorraine. I have no Lorraine. I have no. I can't see with one of my eyes, so I'm like, I'd like to call on you, and I'm really grateful that you were so patient to keep your hand up. That's rough when everyone's going on and on. So, love to hear from you. Thanks for raising your hand.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Hi, everyone. Nancy, I was on before you came back, and I've had no router for about 6 weeks. And then before that, my sound wasn't working, and I've got it all sussed. Got, got it all sussed. And so about the little voice inside, I find like when I'm driving, I think, oh, better check my speed. And then the next thing, a cop will come around the corner. And it's like when I finished school, my plan was like to develop my intuition. I was so sick of right, wrong, right, wrong, right, wrong. And yeah, so, and then it was trusting it, trusting it. So like now when I like notice that I'm looking at the speedo, I think, oh yeah, there must be a cop coming around the corner soon. And yeah, it's really, really reliable. I haven't had any tickets for 10 years. So that's great. And so I'm back, and just a topic, this is just something I've been thinking about for a while. It's about Bitcoin and the petrodollar and your attitude to money. Like if I ever have any spare money, I buy wool. And then I've got 3 jobs to do. It's like work it, and sell it. And like it just becomes huge. But that's what I do. And so the questions are like, the politics around the petrodollar are terrible. And the philosophy around Bitcoin is fantastic. But then we come back to home truths of like easy come, easy go. It's worth what you put into it. Like when I work for something, I value what I get for it. And I feel wealthy. I don't feel poor. And I don't compare myself with other people's scales. So I thought James might be able to wrap all this into something valuable. But that's just the home truths about money and not money, your ability to exchange. I think that's what it's about. And sort of what you give is what you get. So there we go. Everybody, I've been following you all, and it's really nice to be live with you.
It's great to see you again.
It's wonderful to hear you. I've seen you knitting and kind of sometimes on camera, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear your voice, and I love your beautiful work.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I was thinking about how when you're doing this like manifestation work where you're feeling into what it really feels like, and when you're working it, it's not work. It's like it's like a constant exchange. So I feel so wealthy from my creativity. And I'm grateful. I do sell quite a bit of my work, but I only work when I'm in that flow state that Renee was talking about. When my body wants to create something, whether it's writing, that's one way. There's creativity in dancing, there's creativity, but it's all like it doesn't really cost anything. It costs something to go to work and stay restricted. That costs something to your body. But when your body is wanting to do certain activities, which today I was doing sculpture. I think I might have wrote something in the morning and then but there's this flow. And I loved how you were using wool as an exchange of an abundant exchange. So you buy the raw wool, then you card it, and then you make it into these rovings, and then maybe you spin it. I don't know. We have a whole. I've done a lot of wool stuff and spinning and stuff. So and then maybe you weave something into it. But it's this whole like thing. And I was thinking about James's work and how he takes his work and then he makes these shorts. So sometimes he's in the short mode. Sometimes I think he's about ready to go into book mode because some of this stuff that he's compiling in these shorts or in these bits in his live streams, all of it's starting to go into some kind of form that will go into another form and then it goes into another form. And I'm like, to watch the creatives kind of do that, that's going to teach, I think, the world what true reciprocity is, or what real potlatch is. So I'd love to hear James riff on it.
Well, it very good predictions. I uh I really want to write the gospel of lust, and I kind of want to write a treatise on the white man, book too. And the flow is so I spent all the last 3 days writing script, and not actually doing a whole video because the videos I get maybe a few hundred views, and I was like, I want to see if I can reach more, so I'm just going to write shorts. So I've written 12 shorts, and this is the script for them, and then I've released two so far, but the rest should come out a lot faster. And I I can't believe some of the things I've found out. I just, in my mind, it's absolutely fascinating, and I'm fully animized, fully, into the process of making them, and it's very relaxing because I don't have to think about everything else. Meanwhile, it's Black Friday. I'm not selling any books. I about $600 low on the monthly patron, and I'm just really having fun. I'm just like really into what I'm doing, and I regret that I'm getting some feedback that I'm bashing the white man. I say this because our good friend Portal Finder has left two comments, and he's really hurt by what I'm saying, and I don't want us to get lost in this right now. This happens all the time. It's an example of, here I am putting out a series of paintings, and I've gotten two out, and I'm already getting complaints from people that support my work, that make it possible for me to work, and they're actively telling me, stop doing this. You're bashing the tribe, and it's this is this happens every fucking time I try and create. I can't think of a fucking time this doesn't happen, where the enthusiasm is shot in the head the second I take it out of the garage, and I still want to do it. I have to make this series. I just do. And I think if Portal Finder could drink all 12 of the episodes, I think he'd see something beautiful. I think he'd understand that I love him so much because of that. Like it's like, in my mind, it's so, guys, this is the way. It's that way. It's, guys, I found a way. But guys, I found a way. I know, but I found a way. I'm telling you, I know it looks fucking insane, doesn't it? But I'm telling you, if we go this way, yeah, yeah. Look, I have to go this way. Fuck, man, I don't want to break camp, but guys, we can't stay here. I found a way. You know what I mean? But it's just, this happens every time I create, and it proves that I'm an artist because, honestly, after Vark of Baphomet, I was just like, finally, the fucking world's gonna requite me and be like, holy shit, this guy's amazing. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And, hundreds. Like, I just really thought that. Then I was like, well, okay, so I'll do it again. Black Eye Club. Boom. Who the fuck's not gonna like this? You kidding? Oh my god. Oh my god. You kidding? Look at this story. He just cut off his fucking nose. Who writes that? This is amazing. And it's like, that's how that enthusiasm, it doesn't get spoiled. Do you know why it doesn't get spoiled? Because I was drinking it while I felt it. Because when I was writing it in my house alone, I was just erect. Every pore was just more throbbing with just like open, oh my God, I'm so turned on. And I knew that if I open the door and walk outside like this, people are going to be like, hey, put some pants on. What the fuck? It's like it will not. This is the only crucible where this can be received with the majesty it deserves. I swear the fuck, that's what I tell myself. And that's arrogant as fuck. It is like, are you fucking insane? It's like, dude, I am more than insane. This is all that I want to be. I do not give a shit. What the only thing I care about is can we keep it in the basement longer? And the answer is no. I never can because if I don't, I'll lose it. And you just have to put it out. So the money thing is, I don't know why I'm not a lot more financially whatever. But I don't find myself like, oh God. I mean, sometimes I definitely want to quit because I I just get that because I'm sensitive to sugar. I'm sensitive to my audience. I think ultimately that's what's keeping me at bay financially is that I need this kind of tepidness in this lagoon so I can make stuff work. So I may complain because my reach, but then I think the second I had that reach, it would just be bottle kids, just hyena bottle kids, just all day long. And I don't have the kind of, I mean this as a compliment to myself. I don't have that kind of armor on. I just, I don't, I'm not built that way. Time's short. I don't want to even try and hold up that front. I'd rather people just, yeah, yeah, I'm sensitive as fuck. And, you could take me down with a fucking almond joy. Like seriously, you could just fucking ruin my life. Like 8 weeks just with an almond joy. Like if you hit it just right. Like if you hit it just right, and it's typically when I'm super tense. If I'm super tense and you're like, here, have an almond joy, and I swear to you, that's what fucking does it. That's what kicks it off because it's just like, how do I, how do I get back down to this deserving self? And honestly, I think the key to making money is to never relax. I think the key to making a buttload of money is just to always be waking up, just freaking out because you don't have enough money. And I don't have that. It's like I run all these marathons. I get like fourth to last, and I'm like happy. I'm just like, fuck yeah, man! I finished this marathon. Like it's just like that. Like it's like I'm that dude. I'm happy as fuck. I'm just so happy. I finished a marathon. Why are we? You guys, you look at what you just did. Why are you upset? Oh, you got fourth. Oh God, man. God, are you okay? No, you're gonna go kick your dog, aren't you? Wow. And I got fourth to last. It's like, why does this feel so good? And I get it because I'm tuned differently. I mean, it's seriously, I don't have the right frequency.
It
I'm lazy
sounds
as
like you
fuck.
did it for you, James.
Yeah, I'm more turtle, and just more, hey guys.
Good for you.
I was thinking, people that tune into aperture opening and then they freak out because their aperture gets open. I think that's comical.
Yeah, that is funny. I wish I
It,
looked
it's
like it
just,
was funny. I didn't
it's
remember that.
not funny, but it is hysterically funny because every single one that I've seen happen, it's like, yeah, as long as you don't touch my thing. So, so it's like you touch my thing, and then I'm gonna go like, that's, but
Yeah,
don't you
secret
want
gas.
like wouldn't you want someone to stock that for you and give, I'd give more for that.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm sadistic.
That's
Oh,
so great, Lori. James, when I read your piece that you put up that we're discussing with the Rorschach test and the giraffes, that piece just blew my mind.
It did.
I think you're breaking the hive mind barrier,
Yeah.
and you're just if you hit that right
Mhm.
layer in that hive. I feel the same way with that piece. This is kind of like this is a big move.
Yep.
And it's interesting that you're saying portal. I can see why he's ruffling, but like just like Lori said, like why is this dilation one step too far?
Yeah,
Mhm.
like, and why is his name Portal Finder? So he's looking for the portals, but he only
Oh,
can see only the ones that he can see. But this is the one he needs to see. And if he really kind of read that article and maybe just stopped, reacting on being so clever on YouTube commenting, he might get it. But a lot of the prophet, like this thing about how clever I am, and then they riff with you, and then when you offer them that meat, they can't digest it.
Mhm.
That's It's like a jungle. Like, I was like, dang, that just that picture with the giraffes. I was like, well, look at that's the environment. He's probably not even in his in the environment.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like this, you know up
that's what all
here.
these shorts are about. It's it really is just deconstructing what that word actually means from Africa's perspective. Before we even got here, and I wrote a piece today about another short in there is about Watiko itself and the just how aligned it is, how and then I gave credit to white man because it's like if you want to cross over the ocean, you're going to have to cannibalize your own roots. You're going to have to chew them off, and then you know if you've come over here and you've prided yourself on your inability to have roots and still survive, you would find what I'm saying very threatening. I'm
That's right.
breaking the sacrilege because your identity is there. And if I could just say this other thing, I think this might blow you guys away because I didn't know this. So the Croatoan tribe is near the lost colony of Roanoke. The lost colony of Roanoke was a colony that was started in the brackish waters of North Carolina, and um, they built a fort. The owner of the fort, the corporate developer, basically went back to England and promised to come back. He came back. He was maybe a season later, or season or two late, or something. Maybe a year late. This is not uncommon. And when he got back, he found the fort empty, abandoned. And you've probably heard the story that the only thing he found was a carving on a tree of the letters CRO, and that could have been that's all you've heard. That's what I heard, and it's called the Lost Colony and the Mystery of Roanoke Island. Well, that dude's name was John White, and
Like
when
John Doe.
yeah, his name was John White. And when he came back and he saw everyone was gone, the legend tells you that it's CRO and no one knows what happened to you. But actually, in his diary, he wrote down, I found two carvings. One is on the tree outside that says CRO. And then inside the fort, it says Croatoan. And we have a legend that the colony is lost because these people they disappeared because they stopped being white. Like they acclimated, and the second you acclimate you die. Those white people are lost. They don't exist anymore. What exists now is native indigenous people. They don't even have names. The white colonies couldn't even afford to give them names because of this, what it took to come across the ocean, that compartmentalization, it's tripping me out because it's I swear it's like if people were to ingest these shorts, white people could jump, they could play basketball, they could dance, they could they could all the things that they say black people could do, white people could do, because this is really all it takes. You just have to be patterned by the land, you have to be able to put your roots in. So it makes sense that this would be terrifying. it makes sense that everyone would behaving like children. White men behave like children. They're literally like, it's the minority's fault. It's the government's fault. It's like, guys, if you are the superior race, you should be claiming responsibility for everything. Every single bad thing that happens to every woman is not a minority's fault. It's your fault. You should be the lamplighters. You should be the one that's willing to have less sleep because you want to make sure who this stranger who's a girl gets home okay. That would be white supremacy. That's what it would fucking look like. And that's why I see it this way is God, if we just understood that this is not heritage. This is seed. This is seed state, you know? This is stepping into the seed for portability. That's all I got. I just this is such a big thing to me. Yeah, it's taken over everything right now.
It's good stuff, James. And I was just thinking about like having these names that have this heritage attached to, and I was talking about the Northeast is where you come from is like, you have to name what your genetics were. And this is before, 23 and me. We would just label it because, we're white, but we have to say where we're from, like heritage wise. And then it was like, why can't we call ourselves like white standing tall tree or something? I'm claiming my native title, and just sort of feeling into that. Mary Jo, you had your hand up, and I'm really sorry. We were like yakety yakety yak, and I want to honor you. Would you like to?
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Okay, would you come back if you do remember?
Yes,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
Okay, go ahead, Lauren.
Hi, I'm glad you're back, Lori. I didn't realize that you were from New Zealand, but hearing your voice, I have friends in the Northland near Kohu Kohu and Kerry Kerry and Broadwood. Yeah. Is that where you are? Oh my God. Also, James, your latest or the Substack article, the giraffes. I really liked when you said to be native is to resonate the patterns of the land. And being native takes more than time, it takes willingness. It requires surrender to the land's language and water. And that willingness, I think, is lacking in a lot of people. People who get offended when you talk about needing to put your root into the ground. Like Renee said, vibe liable. I still remember that word and I absolutely love it. They're not vibe liable. They're willing to peek behind the curtain to some degree, but not all the way because it burns. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with, my church had something nice to say last Sunday. They said, see with new eyes. You are not what the world told you to be. You are what you remember beneath the noise. I thought that was really nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's about it, guys.
I think that we are coming into this great remembering. Um, it's like when you can keep that central nervous system like in a parasympathetic, and then you can receive your pores are more open to receive, and then they're more open to remembering rather than fighting what the gnosis of your false beliefs. It's just like, and then when you get that hit, when that small voice comes in, and then you can like play, or you can spontaneously dance or spin or whatever it is. It's just like there's this knowing that's coming in. I really feel that as more as I relax. Before, when in the very beginning with James's work, I mean, I read every one of his books. I think within two months I had digested them all, and my aperture just went like, and it wasn't relaxed. I wasn't relaxed. And so, feedback for you, James, when you start to get into your phase and you start to really do that research, it does take a little while for someone's aperture to relax into the opening. At first, it just, you know, it has it takes a little while because it freaks you out, and then you can't digest, and you're like, and then it's like, now it's kind of like that article you put. It was so easy, more easily digestible, and I think I was a little thinking like, gosh, I think that James doesn't like white people. And I kind of
Yeah.
think I brought it up when I don't
Yeah, you
know.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that was the first ripple that I saw that I was like, oh, wait a minute.
yeah.
People are going to
That's,
think that, I swear in my mind, it was like, white people are going to love this.
I
Like,
felt I felt shame for being white. And,
yeah.
and and that was my own. See, you have to see everyone has their own filter they're hearing you from.
Hmm.
And I had to like filter it like, well, I'm living in a very Creole culture and I feel like I'm black. I dance like a black person.
Hmm.
And I don't like being white. I think it's shameful to be white.
Yeah.
And then I had that, cultural, you know, appropriation problem because I was wearing the Peruvian whatever. And it's like that shame of or feeling like less than because I'm white.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I've done all this work and then I was even claiming here I wasn't a shaman,
I
whatever
know.
that
I
means. I can't
remember
claim
that.
I'm a shaman because that's the word that the indigenous
Yeah.
use, and I am not indigenous, so I cannot use shaman,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just like uh the Instagram girl who wears an Indian headdress she's torn apart. Like if that's a white girl, she is torn apart. And watching the comments, that's the only time they will eviscerate her is if she's doing that. She can you know, she can get away with anything else. Literally anything else and they will praise her, but if you put that on and this is why it's so great that the red man rejects the white man. There would be no other way for initiation. We would be flooded with fucking posers. Be just nothing but a bunch of posers, and the whole meaning would be completely ruined. So yeah, that's in order for you to step past that red velvet, VIP tent, that curtain, you have to have that event. I still think about that. Remember that girl in the red pants and she's climbing up to the top of the Mayan pyramid?
Mm.
And it's she gets up to the top. The video starts, she's already up at the top and she comes out and she's waving at the crowd and they're going to kill her.
Ooh.
Climb the pyramid, they're going to kill her. And that's an initiation if she can survive it. If you can survive it, because this really is the scorn is what turns you until you're done. This is the final part that makes the flower come out, is this scorn, this hatred of pride, this disgusting feeling that you cannot be proud of yourself. And that's what makes you pop, is that you don't deserve this. You don't deserve, you're not proper. This isn't right. Like that's the scorn that you need that pops it out. Just like the anger that Portal Finder is feeling. I am hitting the shell because that's what needs to happen. You have to hit the shell. You have to hit the shell. And inside's a white guy, and he's like, I'm happy in here. And I'm like, I know, but I'm hitting your shell. It's time. Because right now, it is so fucked up. Like, 86 people have been executed in the Caribbean, and all white men. They don't fucking care. I swear to you, they don't fucking care. It's funny. It's hilarious. It's meaningless. There's a war on drugs. Don't you know that? This is what I voted for. This is what I voted for. That's, I'm telling you, that's white man. And the shame is important. I'm going to put that in the canon. That sulfur is gunpowder, man. That is, I got to be careful, Lori, because,
I know.
these are, these are friendlies, but they're also, man, we could
Yeah.
kill so many less people if more people were thinking this way. That's my opinion. Is that if white man saw this like this, I think he'd be like, "What the what? Wait, wait, wait. You just you're executing people. What the fuck? I like the Caribbean. I want to go back to the Caribbean. I look like you. Do you know how hard it's going to be for me to go to the Caribbean now? For the rest of my life, someone's going to be wanting revenge. I would hope so. Like that's fucked up. And I don't think white man has the root to do that. He does. It's so fucked up, y'all.
Then they go
Candace
on the
Owens. Candace Owens is the big thing right now. And it's all about, oh, someone tried to kill me. 86 people have been executed in the Caribbean. And white man culture is wants to know whether or not this is true, this rumor that a French spy and Mossad are teaming up to kill Candace Owens because she's about to break the secret that Macron's wife has a penis. While 86 fucking people have been executed, it is disgusting. While ICE is going around taking all these people, Candace Owens is from the Caribbean. That's how fucked up this is. Sorry, but you know what I mean? Like it's like so like I kind of want to hit hard too. It's a weird place to be, you know. I do feel like I know you can't see these shorts, but I do feel like that it's very honoring. But also I always misunderstand how much punch I bring, you know. Um, but I shouldn't understand that. I really just going for clarity. It's a sonic weapon. I it's a cannon, it's a drum. I'm gonna pound the shit out of it. Stretch
well,
the
you're also kind of visionary. You're a little ahead of schedule. So people sometimes think they're there and then they are like, oh, wait a second. I have to listen. I don't, I'm being triggered. I have, I have something I have to kind of defrag in my own operating system.
yeah.
And I think that if I were to say like where I was before I came here, or even since I've been moderating, I see a huge uptake in my compassionating. Like I can now go out. Like I couldn't understand Renee. I just couldn't understand you. How could you live in Portland? I mean, there's purple haired, crazy unicorn people there, and I'm like, just felt like, how do you relate? And now I'm like learning how to relate. It's like if you have an aperture that's really open, then you can really kind of see where everybody is sonar wise. But if you think that you are a certain place, that's where you get into trouble, where you get bumped. So I'm seeing it like really clear now that it is about allowing. I mean, everyone's on a different part of like whatever they're seeing. That if there's an elephant in the room, we're all seeing a different part of it. Well, it's really obvious when you go walking out and in the world and you're looking like. I went to a party and it was a bear club people. It was bear club. I was like, who is bear club? The bear club. It was a whole bunch of gay guys. In Louisiana, a whole bunch of gay guys getting together and you got invited to the party. It was like, wow, to to just witness people, all different types of people. And that's how peepholes with Renee and seeing like, oh yeah, you just peep into their peepholes. You don't have to get intimate, but you can you can vibe with them, you know? So, I think in the truth movement, people get into this place where they only want to vibe with someone that vibes flat earther or whatever their thing is. It's just like now we have to have, I'm like a big UFO person. I just love UFO stuff. And, I like to vibe with the people that are like, star seeds and all of that. And, it's like, but I don't have to only vibe there. I can vibe all different ways. I mean, I go and pollinate in all different locations. I was in the nursery today. And I was like vibing in the plants and vibing at the people that get to play with the plants and just finding out where they are and like what's going on. But when you get into this truth movement, it's tricky because they want you to get to this place and then they want you to stay there so that you just vibe only in this little realm here. And it's not the whole elephant. There's all different resonance and vibrations. There's low frequencies, there's high frequencies, there's all kinds of frequencies. And I was kind of like isolating myself. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I see how Renee goes to the park now. I'm playing in the different resonances and vibrations and I have fun in it because it's like what you said, James, about gaslighting. But gaslighting isn't mean. It's just like kind of having fun. You're just playing. So when you just drop a little gaslight, it's just like a fun thing. It's not like you're trying to prove something. You're just, you know,
Yeah.
talking. I just talked about neuromelanin with a guy and he said I said, see me, I'm kind of like pinky white and you're kind of like caramel coffee. And then my friend over here, he's Mexican American, so he's got like more of a cocoa skin, whatever.
Mm.
But the neuromelanin, and I got to have a little conversation about that. And it was so much more fun than just trying to be right or the truther or whatever. So go ahead, Renee. I was just vibing.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love going to the grocery store. I mean, if it depends on if I have the calories. If I'm not in a big hurry, I'll have a full-on conversation or. I was talking to this girl at Trader Joe's and I asked her what her top three were. And she was like a Pisces sun and a Cancer rising. She's been crying all weekend. I go, oh, yeah, the water signs, the trine, it's a grand trine. So they're all like, wow. I kind of like to leave people in wonder because I'm just, I like to connect. But it's funny, I'm pretty bossy. I think you're alluding to I'm kind of bossy. So I'll have my clients come down to my shop down here. I'm like, hey, you got to sit on a ball. Hey, try this hoop. You have to do it. Just do it. Most of my clients will play with me, but I want their caw to feel it. Like, did your caw feel that? Which, how did your caw like that? And they're like, oh, they don't even know what I'm talking about half the time. But yeah. So another thing I've been doing is I've been having like we'll be talking. I'm like, let's ask Chat GPT. So I'm like, hey, Chat XYZ, and they'll be like, oh, I'm like, right, yeah, isn't this great? So I'm just bringing a lot of toys to the shop, and I think because I feel so good, and there are times like my body tells me different parts of my body, like I have issues, not issues, but I have, just communication from certain parts of my body. Like you got to come over here to the left side. Now go to the right. Now it's your ankle. So it's moving around. There's a lot of fascia we need to get the flow back into, and that covers everything. It's basically the Wi-Fi of our body is our fascia. So that's why the movement, what we can do with our body, is so essential because that's the one thing we can do. Like you're in charge. You're the boss. You're the boss of you. So I am pretty bossy, and but I just compassionate people's cause. I'm like, how's your cause doing? Because your cause is like probably over there, sad in the corner, and and we regulate. So if I'm a little bit more, if I can bring it, if I have the balance, if I have the calories, which I often do, because I do spend a lot of time alone. When I'm not with like clients or my family, I don't do a lot. I don't go out to places really. You know what I mean? So I am here at my home because it's my playhouse and I love it. And of course I have parks nearby that I claim my vibage, my vibration is there. So it's got to be easy. It needs to be really easy. I was even like jogging in place, like I was running, like I'm going for a run, and I never left the spot I was in. I did it for like 5 minutes. I'm like, this is great. I don't have to go anywhere. I can go side to side, and it's like a dance, but it's a running in place, and you haven't even left, but your heart is you're having fun. You don't have to spend a calorie to do it. You can drink coffee. You're like, it's so I think we have a lot more responsibility with our own body and our own health because the medical profession, yes, they're there, they're important, but if it's when you're vibe liable, when you're kind of body liable. And trust me, I told James I went and got a thing of ice cream and ate the whole thing and felt sick. And, I do that too. I'm like, I need ice cream, and Target's like 5 minutes away. It's right there. So I went. But so yeah, that happens too. You have to allow yourself to, to do that because we deserve a treat. But I know, James, you have a different experience. And I went to James's parents' house, lovely home, but it was tight, you guys. Like the how the hold on James's house, like I could feel that just by being there, how intense that must have been.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. I mean, I loved it. It was great, but
No, no, I don't. Yeah.
I'm just like, well, this must have been pretty
Yeah.
clenched, if
Yeah.
not so, because everybody else just the clenching that I could kind of sense in there.
Yeah.
Um, Beautiful home, beautiful. Um, his stepdad's a great guy, but I did I could compassionate your childhood more by going to your home and seeing like, oh yeah, this must have been not a
Yeah.
lot of free flowing fun. No, no, yeah, yeah. But that forged you. That forged you.
That's right.
That's right.
Right. Would-
That's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I really wouldn't. You know.
No,
Yeah. It's
no, I was just
yeah.
thinking
It'd be
about
nice if you could like if I could let go easier, but I already do let go. Like it's like yeah.
that's why you live on a mountaintop with animals.
Yeah, it's I had to step away here because the raccoon had figured out a way to open the dog door, and then he came in and he was dragging this entire bin of peanuts, and it was bigger than the dog door, so he was like
My
trying,
God.
yeah, and it was just
Oh my God.
it's just so it's just I that to me is very dilating. It's just all of the interactions. So many of them I don't film because they're just so normal. They're so I should really film more, but they're just so remarkable, but also every day it's just such a blessing. And I'll hear the crows, they go caw caw caw, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I throw peanuts out, and then I can hear them talking to each other and saying, "All right, we got fucking peanuts," and like that's a very subconscious thing to hear crows. Do you understand what I mean? Like to recognize crows. This is not like they're right at my door. This is pretty far away, but it's like your root is in the ground, so you're listening to all the trees.
Yeah.
You're aware of things. I'm wondering where's where's Lefty? Where's this bird that only has 1 foot? Where's this
Yeah.
raccoon with the weird jaw? Stuff like that. So
The wonder of it. I was out going to the gay party when I saw those murmurations of birds. And one of the guys from the party said, "Well, that was you on the side of the road." I'm like, I have never seen. And they said, "Oh yeah, that's like, I mean, like," and I'm like, "But I've lived here all this time and never seen that." And then if you listen to the video, you hear this, like you can actually feel like the unity of all these bird wings were making this power. And then I was pondering it. It was on a rice field. It totally made sense because as they did that, it brought all the rice to the top. And then they fly back down and they'd eat it.
oh my goodness.
And they did the same thing. It was like, but it was a collective. It was like they all got it. Now it was going to do this. One bird was going to do it. And then it was go. And then they didn't do all the different like a starling. It wasn't a starling. It was a different bird. And they do this in these rice fields. And I'm like, I'm going to go hunting the that that experience. I'm like, that's truly like, it's a Louisiana thing. I don't even, I mean, if you really kind of like, I don't know, nature is just informing me now that I'm like not so like, you get into these programs that you think you have to have a certain thing in order to feel like relaxed. And it's not true.
Yeah.
The relax is right there.
Yeah, it is. And we it we forget that we have that gear. It's such a new gear. And there's actually two, there's heightened state and then there's relaxed state. And the heightened state's going to be more like, you're going to burn 120 frames a second. So it's the opposite, but you're just as conscious I want you to think about it like that. When it's fight or flight, if you're in emergency mode,
Yeah.
you were just as conscious, you were lit, you were dilated. And then when you're in digesting mode, you're also dilated.
Mm.
It's uh give me a sec. It's the yin of that gear. It's the pool, not the rod. It's the
Mm.
peripheral way of digesting versus the active macular way of digesting, which is, oh my God, we're gonna kill this elephant, or oh my God, this lion's gonna kill us. You know, it's that's just as conscious, but it's on the other scale. So think about it like an axis like that. So one of the axes is is conscious, like frontal lobe conscious. The other axis really is non-frontal lobe conscious. But that's where Larry was talking about the she just said it so well, right? Just like, hey, I wonder, wonder if the cops are coming, or I wonder, that intuitive listening, that first you have to say, I'm not white. I'm not saying that these are her words, but I have to stop out of the whole right or wrong, right? So first you have to step out and say, look, it's not a binary. It's not going to be that way. And then second, now you're ready to listen. How can you listen if you're in the car with a bunch of binaries? How are you going to do it? How are you going? Same thing. How am I going to play fort if this 15-year-old comes over here and starts teasing us? How are we going to play fort that way? It'd be one thing if he would play ogre and like knock it down, but no. He wants to destroy our ability to imagine that it's a fort. And he's going to ridicule us until we stop. And then I'm telling you, that sound is on all the time. Like society just makes that sound all the time. You're not building a fort, it's a house. You're not building a fort, it's a house. It's a mortgage. It's not a fort. It's not a fort. Don't call it a fort. It's not a fort, right? That's not a horse. It's a car. Call it a car. It's not a horse. You don't get a horse. You don't get a horse. It's not quicksand. It's mud. Stop it. So everything fun is gone. It's not a treasure map. It's a paycheck. It's the same thing. If I go to this bank, I get a shitload of gold. You can't call it a treasure map. It's a paycheck. And you have to have two forms of ID. It's just like, what the fuck, man?
We had so much that fun. It was fun when you were coming into the room, Renee, and we were going shh because we were in the
Oh,
fort.
I know.
That was so much fun. We were like playing, and I was just like laughing afterwards. I'm like, that is just so much fun. Nobody was in the room saying, we're
Totally.
not in the fort. There's nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't want to collapse the wave. One thing I do want to, we're heading up on the end of our chat, but we are leaving the year of the snake and entering the year of the horse. So we are
Whoa.
picking up some momentum. So I think that's what we're feeling like. We're getting ready. I was talking to Chad. It's like, Renee, you're leading the stampede because I already say I'm a horse.
Wow.
I have the horse traits. I could finish up. We have 2 minutes, and I'm going to finish up with the horse traits. 2026: boldness, movement, freedom, flow, clarity, direction, intentional action, sensitive strength, sacred witness, authenticity, rapid changes, innovation, big vision, grounded planning, leadership, courage, alignment, focused momentum, and awakening.
Wow.
That's our horse.
Love it.
The horse
I'm
is
the horse in
hippocampus.
Chinese astrology.
Are you? Hey,
Yay!
Clinton.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Clint.
think as we embrace the indigenous, we can relax into the land,
Yep.
and just embrace the salt. So that's what the remembering is. It's just,
Yes.
you sweat. I think, plumbing kind of fucked us up a little bit because we don't poop into the earth anymore. So we don't put our info into the land. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't get we're
That's
like
the other side of
disconnected.
our Taurus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the other side of our Taurus. And we don't root that into the ground. You're
I
right.
pee in the yard all the time.
Yeah. Me
That's
too.
good because then you're talking to the mycelium.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yoo-hoo!
love you guys.
I love you.
Oh, it's so
Thanks
fun.
for
Love you too, man.
popping in at the end there.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
the
guys.
hippocampus is the hippo that comes from the word horse, and the hippocampus is exactly this idea of what is fearful will seize you up, right? And what you're
Mhm.
not afraid of, you can relax and digest and see. So that's why we always want more calories here. The more calories you have, it doesn't matter what you're afraid of. If you have more calories, you'll just throw calories at it, and that alone will give you the at least a look at it, and then you can practice and get better and stare at these things longer.
So I have one little tidbit. Crayola puts out 24 colors of human skin, and they root from rose, almond, and golden. No white at all.
Nice.
I like
Yeah. Beautiful.
That is
Well,
beautiful.
it
thank
is.
thank you for an awesome dojo. And I wanted to say unmute and say goodbye and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much.
Hi,
Have
happy
fun.
Thanksgiving.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye,
Love, guys.